Morning, everybody. Morning. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, la 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 la. Do 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 do.
Bringing up the rear is unit 5 and Burley.
Not double X, just extra small. Oh.
Sheet 6.
Okay. Do 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 do. Let me know what you got. Do 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 doodly do.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to make you flexible. I'm making you uncomfortable, say alive.
Do 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 boom. No Drambuie? No, good. Got enough people? Okay, cool.
Conrad, who's pouring the shots? Yes. You make sure
Do 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 do.
is that good luck? Do I have to run your good luck?
All 5. 7 under.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Utica Curling Club. I'm Dave Cragnolan. I'll be joined by Tim Conboy in the broadcast booth today. Today is the finals of our Marie Cobb tournament, our mixed tournament, prestigious curling tournament in the Northeast. And hope you folks are ready to sit back and enjoy the game today. As you can hear in the background, our piper is in the shed and piping away as our ceremonial lineup is underway. And we've got 6 finals for you today. We are going to broadcast our A final, which is Team Border. And that is Dan Stolman, Louise Goodfellow, Paul Bosco, and Liz Bosco against Manotick. Wes Sukarab, Karen Bradley, Ken Robichaux, and Cindy Robichaux. We'll keep you updated from time to time on scores, other scores in the shed. But for now, sit back and enjoy. Chat room is open. If you like curling, this is what you want to do. You want to be playing on Sunday morning. Usually means you had a pretty good Bonspiel if you're playing on Sunday morning.
It's always nice to see all the out-of-town teams in.
Absolutely. Teal Barbara, nice rendition of the Canadian anthem. Beautiful renditions of the Canadian and American national anthem. And now a ceremonial shot, which is sort of a customary thing in curling tournaments.
Oh, it's always the best part of starting out on a Sunday morning.
Shot of choice is Drambuie. It doesn't have to be. You can have apple juice as you want. I'm guessing there's not a lot of apple juice out there, but it's not imperative that you have Drambuie.
It's nice seeing our guests from RCMP helping serve the shots for this morning.
Congratulations for making it to the 2022 finals at the Cobb. Good curling, the ice is yours.
Conrad Law, co-chair of the tournament, offering the ice to the players, and we're about ready to go here. So Manotick will be throwing the blue rocks today here on sheet 3, our championship sheet. And Border Curling Club will be throwing the yellow rocks. I'm sure they'll flip for a hammer, and we don't know that what's going on exactly with that just yet. Both teams flawless to this point on Sunday. It's the only way you can be in the A final in a curling tournament is to not have any losses up to this point. Both teams 3-0, I believe. Watched a great game yesterday. We called a game at 8:30 last night between Manotick Curling Club and Utica Seniors. Dave Palazzoli's rink came down to the last shot. Exciting game. And Utica 7 is actually playing in the D final now. They are playing against Schenectady 3 in the Jack Stapera rink. And we're going to, like I said, we'll keep you updated on all those scores as things unfold a little bit here. Get started here first and get an end or two in the books, and then we'll keep you. We're not going to put it up on the scoreboard, but we will keep you informed as to what's going on the other sheets. Happy to have Tim Conboy with me this morning. Tim and I have been talking about doing a live feed for a month or so now. And Tim, it's great to have you in here with me.
Well, thank you very much, Dave. It's my first time trying this, so I'll probably stumble over some words once in a while.
Yeah, it's just like riding a bike, you know. The beauty of calling a curling game is it's not like calling a horse race or a hockey game. It's a pretty slow-paced game, so it's relatively easy to keep up with the action. And for those of us who are curling junkies, it's, you know, a close game. We always hope for a close game, so it's, you know, blowouts aren't fun for either team, but whoops. That'll be archived there, buddy. Don't worry about that, Paul.
That was his practice.
You can go back and watch that one on later on. Like I said, both teams were undefeated coming into the morning, so certainly Manotick is a very experienced team, and that would be Wes Sukarab's rink. He's a skip. Karen Bradley's the vice. Ken Robichaux and Cindy Robichaux rounding out the front end. Border Curling Club is Dan Stolman, a longtime friend of mine. We actually played basketball in high school. And Louise Goodfellow is the vice. Paul Bosco is the second, and Liz Bosco is the lead. And it looks like Manotick's thrown first. Ice Crews had us playing on nice ice all weekend. It's a hard job to keep up with as many games as have been played and still provide nice fast ice with some curl. So we'll see what we got here early, if we got some curl. And
this is normally the time when people try and feel out the ice, see what it's doing early in the game, see how much it's curling, what the speed is.
Yeah, it's real important. You know, anybody who plays this game realizes that the front end is so important to establish speed of ice and curl, and a lot of games are won in the first couple of ends for those who can figure the ice out. Hi, Kim. We already got somebody in the chat room, and that's always nice to see.
Starting out with a couple good stones right where they want them.
Yeah, we'll see if Wes is probably going to go right after this rock. Very aggressive, aggressive player. Watched him play a couple games this weekend, and I've seen him in years past. He's a very, very good player and an experienced player at that. Got a very good team in front of him too. Again, we're hoping for a good game. Border's going to need to have their A game to give Manatic a run for their money here.
That's curling quite a bit there. Bye, Corey. Bye. Oh, just a tick.
Couldn't get it off the rings. See if Dan will want to guard this up now. And Liz Bosco, her second rock.
Overcurled a little bit there, still leaves it kind of open.
Yep. Wound up like more of a center guard, which is kind of a friendly spot for Wes. So important to get a couple of guards up if you're trying to steal. Ken Robichaux, second for Manatic, has had a fabulous tournament. He was relatively flawless last night against Team Palazzoli.
That's going to crash.
And I jinxed him. Ooh. Wound up with the guard right in front of, wound up guarding up shot rock. Not exactly what they had in mind. I don't know that he missed a shot in the game last night against Palazzoli. Murphy's Law, right?
If you're going to miss your shots early is the time to do it.
Got that right. So the door open here for Border early. He's going to try and Christmas tree these stones here. Try to put one right in between the two yellows. This would be Paul Bosco, second for Border. Got a great looking shot here if it's got legs. Little light, I believe. Not exactly what they had in mind. And that opens the door back up for Manatic. It's amazing how one shot can sort of change the complexion of an end, you know?
Sure.
Kristen Palazzoli, what do I mean when I say Christmas tree the stones? Okay, that's a great question. So Christmas tree the stones, if you have two stones, I'll draw you a diagram after Ken's second shot here. Ken is looking to draw around, be shot rock behind these guards. Nice, a little sticky right now, it looks like. I don't know if that's going to get there or not. Yeah. So what I mean by Christmas tree, and I'm going to draw a little diagram here. You have two rocks in a row, this one, oops, and that one. So to Christmas tree them, you would want to draw around, or regardless of which way, and put a stone just half showing between those two. So it's sort of like a Christmas tree. Boop, boop. Okay? That's basically it. It's almost like making a triangular type of scenario of the rocks. Looks like he's going to come up a little bit narrow with that one too. So players haven't found the draw weight just yet.
Quite a wall of rocks up front.
Yes, there is, and that's favorable for Manatic. No, you're very welcome, Krista.
Looks like he's going to try and raise the blue, center blue.
Yeah, he almost has nothing to lose here if he gets to it. As long as he gets to enough of the rock and promotes it onto the rings, he'll still keep his center cluttered up. This would be Karen Bradley's first stone of the morning. Rock is not curling.
No, it is not.
This may tap the yellow one up. Might get it right through. That's fortunate for her that she's got it to the back of the rings and it's stuck around. So a break there for Border. Now here's the shot I was describing, is this Christmas tree effect. So if he could get a rock just half buried here, that would create like a triangular type thing with the rocks. And it's a loose Christmas tree at best, but that's definitely a terminology in curling that we use.
One of the questions I always hear is, which way is a Christmas tree supposed to point?
It's a sideways Christmas tree.
So you're building a Christmas tree, sometimes it's backwards.
Yep, that's right. And I think this is a pretty good rock.
Yeah,
that's a beauty.
Just a touch visible here.
Nice, yeah, right in front of the tee line. Couldn't be in a better spot. A little trouble brewing early here for Manatic. Border Curling Club sitting 3. Pretty well buried the 2 rocks that are on the 4-foot. So he's going to look to draw here. He still can get to the button with a draw this way. So a pretty important shot early in the game here for Karen Bradley.
And if he's narrow or she's narrow, she can always bump that one up.
Yeah, there's a couple ways of getting in here. It looks like she's got real good weight here. Just not finishing though. And now here it comes. And that is about a beautiful shot. What a great throw there from Karen.
Still a little exposed from directly behind.
Yeah, what are you looking at from where you're sitting? About half a rock there, Tim?
Half a rock.
Yep.
Have to see how the yellow rocks are curling compared to the blue. The blue did not seem to be curling that much.
No, it did not, and the weight was perfect too. You know, skips and players will have to adjust their line a little bit there if it's not going to curl.
That's out there quite a bit.
Yes, it is. And she ran the corner guard off. So now the table's turned. Now Manatic can play a guard up game here. Funny game that we play. You know, it looked like at the onset of the end that that Border was in business to score a multiple end, and now they're scrambling to, if West can throw a good guard here. I left them right on the table. So now if West can come around here, I don't know if he can get to, it'd be tough to sit 1-2 here, but he could actually come around and just get behind this blue rock and get right in front of his rock here. He could sit 1 and 2.
If he comes down and freezes to it, he could.
He could. You just want to cross the face of it a little bit.
Get inside it and sing.
Yeah. Quick look at the far house here.
Just wants to be careful.
So if he can draw right down into this neck of the woods here, it'll be behind these guards, which you can't see on the screen here.
Just want to be careful you don't push the blue back.
Absolutely. It's usually not a bad thing when you're skipping and you got to throw guards. Looks a little toasty. Little bump. And he actually took himself out.
That was the scenario.
Wow.
Scenario right there.
That was it. So again, a break here for Border as Wes is either draw attempt, I would say, or just a lot of weight. And he bumped himself to the back 8. Still shot rock, however. I think. No, he's not. He's actually second rock.
And it's exposed.
So a big break here for Border. If Dan Stolman can hit this rock and flop to the center, he'll be in. Laura Bosco, do some players curl stones with a stick rather than sliding on a knee? Yes, they do. It's usually comes along with not being able to get down in the hack or some kind of a dysfunction with the legs or the back. So a lot of players have found solace in throwing with the stick, and it's definitely less invasive on the body. And with some practice, you can throw a lot of weight, and it certainly saves the body. It's kept a lot of people playing the game.
Now, what do you mean when you say a lot of weight? A lot of people ask that. What do you mean by weight?
Well, as opposed to a draw weight, which is just soft weight, a lot of weight would be trying to take other stones out.
So weight is the speed of the stone going down?
Correct. And there's a whole bunch of variables of that. Rock coming up hard on him here. Don't know if he's by or not.
No, he is by.
He's by.
And a roll in.
And a roll in between the two. Oh my goodness, it went right between them. You couldn't do that if you tried, but he did leave the button over, so Wes has got to make a shot here. Yellow sitting 3 is Border. Interesting call here for Wes. I thought he would be drawing all day, trying to get to the 4-foot or the button, and he's hitting.
It almost looked like he was thought about coming down to one of those stones.
Very interesting call, right? Because Dan has hammer. Not sure what this gets him if he's hitting.
And if he hits the...
Can he get the double? I'm not sure he can get the double here. Oh, maybe he's just trying. I don't know what he's actually doing. He's explaining to his front end what he's thinking. Didn't like his first draw attempt, which was certainly back house or through if it didn't hit the other rock.
But it would seem at this point he just tried that draw on that left-hand side. So
my guess is that he's trying to freeze to shot rock and cut Dan to 2 if Dan makes his last shot. I would be willing to bet that's probably what he's doing.
It will, it will. Control.
We'll certainly find out here in a second or two. He's coming with some weight. And he left Dan sitting 2.
And it looked like that's what they were calling.
Yeah.
When they were putting the room there to hit that back one. And
I didn't quite understand that one myself, but he's leaving the door open for 3. Dan is sitting 2 if he doesn't throw. And now he can hit the 4-foot circle to get his 3.
I think he was trying to hit the back one, roll over, and take the other back yellow
He was looking for a double.
Yep. Push it back a little bit and leave him 1.
Yep, which would have still given Dan the opportunity for 2, right?
I guess it was a confusing call, but it wasn't a bad call.
True. Again, with the circle wide open like that to draw, you know, it's hard when you're skipping to not trust your draw weight, you know.
Right, and his first draw was just heavy. It was on room. It was right where it had to be. So
yeah,
interesting
call.
Again.
I'm going to remember that one. I always write down little notes here. The first and question mark. Okay. Dan Stolman now with a chance to get a nice early lead here if he can draw the 4-foot circle.
And that's many times when you're sitting up here, you wish you could stop and talk to the skip and say, why are you doing that?
Looks real good. Oh, he nailed it. No, a little heavy, I think. Just a little heavy. So there's a break for Manitic. But Border did get their deuce in the first end, so it's a early score of 2 for Border Curling Club.
And over on sheet 1, Utica 1 started out the first end, 3-0. Sheet 2, Utica 3 against New York and Company. Utica 3 is 1-0. 8-0. Sheet 4, we've got a little bit of competition between Bucks County and Philadelphia.
Nice.
Side-by-side clubs are a little trash talking last night. Just to further update the scores on sheet 5, Utica 7, 3-0 lead over Schenectady 3. On sheet 6, Utica 5 is 1-0 over Burlington.
Wes sticking to his guns here. He didn't throw very many corner guards with the hammer yesterday. He was playing aggressively and going right on the rings. Looks like that's what he's trying to do here after a nice opening center guard from Liz.
Now, there was not a lot of curl to that one either.
No, there wasn't.
About a foot, maybe just a tad more.
Never ceases to amaze me in a curling weekend where you can watch one game on one sheet, the draw before, and there's 5 feet of curl, and the next draw comes out and it's slow and no curl. I totally don't get it.
Right.
You know, I
agree with you.
It's so strange.
Especially if you're playing on that sheet after the one you just watched.
Yeah, because you're expecting it to do what it did the game. You just got to feel it out, you know, and get your bearings with how it's playing at that moment in time.
The quote from one of our skips, one of our better skips, was, "He who learns the ice first normally wins."
It's fact. A lot of little variables, you know, playing to your player's strength is a big deal. I watched Tom Lancaster yesterday play to the strength of Paula in the game that they played. It was brilliant the way he did. He didn't have her throwing weight. Everything he was counting on her to throw. He knew he could count on her to throw a draw. And he was trying every bit in power the way the game had shaped up for him to do so. And it's just
a
classic example there.
Sheet 4 over here, Bucks County almost threw a triple.
Indeed.
There was 3 in the middle, and they moved all 3 right out to the 12. That was a light takeout.
Yes, it was. So, draw attempt. Wound up in the middle. This is going to be favorable for Dan to have all those guards in the way. Might want to draw around.
It's, again, interesting having curled with some new people this weekend. You try and make them understand that sometimes in the house is not what you want. On the button is not what you want. Sometimes you don't want stuff.
It's a funny game like that. There's so many little variables, you know, with quality, you know, the skill level of players certainly, and figuring that out. Strong statement that you said about figuring the ice out early is huge. Bill Sewell, whom I've curled with for years, is masterful at figuring ice out early in a game, and he wins a lot of games because of that. There's still execution that has to go on, but a little heavy here for Border. That's going to go off the rings.
And the hardest thing being new when you're skipping is learning that the strategy is you're setting up an end, that you're not just trying to put them in or just take them out.
For sure. Door open here now for Ken Robichaux to get another blue rock on the rings here for Manotick. He's a little light here. His front end jumped it right away. And it's really, so what I've seen so far is that the blue rocks are a little curlier, which is unusual for the rocks. The a little weight sensitive maybe to the ice.
Dan calling to get that yellow out of the way.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can tap it back to the forefoot too, behind those guards, it's great, right? Sit shot rock. Starting to come up now. Gonna like this one. Just a little light. Great idea, but not in a bad spot.
Yep, they had to wait to sweep it to get the line.
Yes, they. Yep, exactly. Nicely thrown, Stone. A little more momentum there. He would have popped it right back to the promised land.
It was right behind cover, so just a little deeper would have been nice.
Mm-hmm. Nope, nope, nope.
Not sure what he's calling here.
Looked like he was calling almost a freeze on the yellow rock. That's in the rings for border. Going to plug up the hole and make that draw difficult. Good shot there. Didn't quite get where he wanted it to get, but it still worked.
You got a little bounce there, so it does leave it promotable.
Yeah. Dan might try that again. It's almost a free shot. Why not?
The only danger is hitting the blue instead, though.
Correct. Yep.
He is. Actually, could drive it somewhat straight back in a little bit, right down on the blue.
For sure. Couple ways of making this, right?
Just the danger of over curling and tapping the blue up. Okay, they decided against that. We're not going to try and raise the outside yellow.
Yep. Trying fresh ice out here, too. Liable to be a little sticky.
She gave that a pretty good push there, so we'll see what happens.
Going to be through the house.
Dan was sweeping that. He didn't want that around.
No. Give them something to
come down to.
Sure, or hit in and off.
You know, when you're sitting up here in the glass and when you're sitting home, you're always playing the what would I do and what should they do.
I like this here. This is almost a free shot if he can get around this blue guard and get one on the ring style, count the yellow one. He's sitting 1 and 2 guarded, so definitely put a little pressure on border here if he can sit 1-2 after this stone.
And they just saw a draw, so they got an idea of maybe what it's doing out here.
Yep. A little directional sweeping going on here. Ken Robichaux. Oh, no. No legs. Not in a bad spot, however. Very, very usable stone. see if Dan will go back to his tap up on that angle raise on the outside yellow one.
He's looking at the center there, too. You can't really raise anything in the center. They're kind of locked in each other, the yellow and blue on the center.
Yeah, just opting to junk it up here.
Wants to take those promotes away from him.
Yeah, and he might be able to take both of them away if he plunks one kind of Christmas trees, if you will.
A lot of Christmas trees today.
Yeah. I think if you put a rock right about here, you take them both away. Can afford to jiggle them around a little bit. And that's going to work out just fine because now the one in the middle is promotable, but it's tough, right?
Yeah, it is there, though. Actually, from this angle, it looks down. If they came down and tapped that blue, it could spin off the yellow a little bit, come straight back.
Could do that.
He's going to go for the outside one.
Yeah. Manotick with hammer here in the second end.
Actually, that one looks like it's more exposed than when he just put his broom on.
Yep, agreed.
See, depending on how it curls, he's got a 2-for-1 shot here. He could one or the other.
Oh, strange game we play. Looks so easy, doesn't it?
It does. Just come down, hit one of those stones, bump them in.
Tap it right up to the 4-foot, everybody's happy.
All you need is the perfect line, perfect weight, perfect call, perfect sweeping. How hard can that be? It's going to be a little wide.
Just rubbed. Gonna stick around? I think it's gonna stick around in the back. Can't swear to that right this moment. Take a look at the near house here and see. And hard to tell from that angle. It looks like it might be a biter.
At this point, even if it was, it wouldn't necessarily be out counting the top yellow.
Very true.
Which is pretty well buried up there.
Yep.
I still like the promote of the blue for the next shot into that yellow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a bunch of ways he can make this too, you know.
So see, a lot depends on what they do right now, what Dan does.
Those two rocks over there on the left, I think if he hits that rock almost like a crotch hit between the blue and the yellow one, that the blue will run straight back onto the yellow and take it out.
Yeah, it looks like. We'll see if Dan's going to take any of these promotes, or if he's just drawing on the right side, takes those away from him.
Yeah, with that ice, I'm not sure. I mean, if the pro side miss here is short and block it, make Wes unable to use those two rocks.
Of course, some of those draws have been hanging out there, though, so we'll see what he's doing here.
I tend to think he's drawing here.
Yeah, draw weight. What's coming in?
Oh boy, he might do it for him. Are they by?
No, he's not by. Not by a long shot.
Oh boy. Not enough to promote it to second rock.
But it did take the raises away. You could possibly blue raise it straight back, but
yep, that's still
not
there.
Put it where he wanted to do it before.
True.
You might have to go to the left side where you said. Get in the crotch of the yellow blue.
Yep.
See if it drives it back.
Front end's definitely junked up. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 rocks not on the rings in sort of a arc. There's no draw. There's no draw path to the center, certainly.
This is the curved Christmas tree.
Yeah.
More of a Christmas wreath.
Colorful blue and yellow wreath.
trying to get a second rock in there.
Sure. I think he's got this blue. He's looking at the what you had spoke about a couple seconds ago. Is that blue over here on the looking down the sheet on the left side here? There, just a little tap, and you can put one behind. It'll be behind cover too.
The only problem with that blue, looking at it from my angle, is he's going to hit it on the outside, possibly push the blue out.
Yeah, he's almost got to hit every bit of what he can see of the top one.
Now they're over here looking at that other one that you like. And now maybe just back to a draw.
Just to draw, holy smokes. So a draw attempt here from West with his first rock, with hammer in the second end.
Well, if he could draw it down to himself, or even just a little bit short of that, it'll still be counting 2.
Oak tree. That's funny. It is more like an oak tree than a Christmas tree.
If you know your trees.
Very unusual configuration of the rocks too. Around the front, every rock is yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow. There's no 2 rocks side by side that are the same color. Real light here. Just guarding up.
Yeah.
I don't think he was intending that.
Not sure what he was actually trying there.
No. I think he was attempting a draw. He just got out in the sludge and it really dug in on him. So now Dan's going to look at a possible raise here. He's got a bunch of things he can actually tap up.
Actually, the one he's looking at right now, if he taps that yellow into yellow, just bumps it up a little bit. Could a dump shot.
Yep. Sure could.
That looks about the cleanest shot he's got.
I think you're right.
Just a little update. We know Kim's watching up there on sheet 1, Utica 1. 4-0 lead over Utica 2.
Yep, both of those teams with only 1 loss on their record for the weekend.
And normally both strong teams.
Had their woes yesterday in their quarterfinal games of their, their semifinal games. I'm sorry, semifinal games.
Very nice.
Yeah, it looks like that's what he's looking at. Dan's looking at raising yellow into yellow.
Yep.
Actually, from this angle, he
could pop it right in between everything if he hits it too. If he could actually miss the yellow one and come right to the 4-foot circle with the right weight.
Well, now
it's about the same weight for both shots too. That's the thing. A little more weight with the promote, but not much. And it looks like I'm not sure what he's doing.
I think he's trying to bump up the yellow on the
outside. Yep, that's it.
Just needs to get it.
Doesn't want to do anything to expose his second rock because West does have 3 rocks on touching the rings. Doesn't want to do anything to spoil the little shelter that yellow rock has at the top of the 8-foot for himself.
Looking at the angle here, it's going to be a tough raise to get that yellow back to outcount the blue.
Kristen, your team is your dad's team is Utica 7. They've been called different things over the weekend. They were Utica 7. They were Team Palazzoli and Utica Seniors, but Utica 7, they are playing on sheet 5, and they are ahead 3-0 right at this point. A little light here. Just more junk. I guess he's taking the raise away. It would appear like he was taking the raise away.
Is that called the prevent defense?
At that. Still there, though, unfortunately. Still there. You can tap that yellow rock with hack weight. He's going to pop the blue one, and Wes immediately looking and saying, I still got it.
Yep.
They both pointed their brooms to it.
All he's got to really do is just touch 8.
And it's lined up perfectly to actually angle it back towards the button, too. All he's got to do is hit it. Hack weight will do it. Boop, boop.
I don't see a downside to this shot.
No, I don't either.
I mean, even if he was very wide and come out and hit the yellow, it still wouldn't necessarily put that yellow in.
Correct. It'd be real bad luck to do that. And he just pointed at the yellow. He must have heard you, Tim. He just pointed at the yellow and said, I don't want to touch that one. I think he's throwing the yellow, blue, blue. So what Wes is looking at here, at least we think that's what I think he's looking at, is to come down here with kind of no more than hack weight, just even through the house weight will do it, and tap, 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 and direct that blue rock right back to the 4-foot circle.
He's got to move that second blue maybe about 1.5 feet.
Yep. There's what it looks like from our vantage point. So he would be trying to come down here and tap, 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 tap right there.
Even straight back. Doesn't even have to come in, just straight
True.
back.
I think the way they're lined up, it's almost conducive that he's going to get a little bit of an angle shot with it. The blue is going to come back at about half a rock. Gotta go.
That's hack weight.
Weight's perfect for the shot. Weight's perfect for the shot. Boom, boom, and that's how you do it. Wes Sukarab, fantastic curling shot to get his deuce.
That's what they say. It's as easy as that.
Whew. Wow, very nice. So at the end of 2 ends, Manotick came back and got their deuce as well. So it's 2-2, Manotick and Border, and we got a 6-end game.
Going over the scores again, over on sheet 1. Utica 1 is 4-0. It's hard to tell with Roger in the middle. Sheet 2, Utica 3 is, or New York and Company is 2-1 over Utica 3. Sheet 4, Bucks County and Philadelphia tied after 2 at 1 apiece. Over on sheet 6, Utica 5 is 1, Burlington is 2. Burlington had back-to-back games. They basically got up to the warm room, had to turn right around and go right back.
Welcome to Sunday morning curling.
It's the pleasure of playing the early morning Sunday and having an extra end.
Sleep good tonight.
Oh, no, not this.
First rock of the 3rd end goes right to the 8-foot circle. Might have shoved that out just a little. Coming hard though. What a great shot. Nice finesse shot there from Liz. That's
hit
beauty.
it and roll right.
Yep. Very nice. Good curl there. It looked like she shoved it out, and it really came back really nice for her.
What they're going to do is play a little hit game here for a while.
Kind of looks like that. They had 3 or 4 ends last night against Utica Seniors and Dave Palazzoli's rink, where they started every end like this. They were going in, hitting, and then all of a sudden there were 4 rocks in the park. It was crazy.
Yeah, you wonder sometimes because this is until the first person misses.
That's right.
This is going to hit and roll out, I think.
Oh, right on the
Right on
schnoz.
the nose. Hard to tell these curlers getting away of our view.
It is hard to tell sometimes. Even though we're elevated here, it is hard to tell. Especially if they slide a long way down the ice with them.
I don't think they realize that we're trying to look at their shots there.
It's really nice. She puts a lot of rotation on this ice. That's actually a very good thing too, because it holds the rock right. This is a perfect shot. Great throw. He's got it. His shooter's going bye-bye. That one came up hard on. He might have been inside too. Wes yelled sweep right out of his hands, so I'm sure he was inside a little bit there. But job done. We're starting over again. No rocks in play. Shout out to Dan Bosco. Cheering on Border. Looking to get a corner guard up here is Dan. And start Overville. Looks like a good shot. Been watching Wes's game all weekend, and I knew he was going to waste no time in peeling this rock out of the way. Without a miss, we're heading for a blank end, you know?
Some people, they don't mind leaving them out there. Other people just want a clean area.
Right. Hoping to lose his shooter here, and mission accomplished, I believe. Nice shot there from Ken. And that went right out of play. Good throw. Exactly what he wanted. Dan's going to put it back. Little cat and mouse game here in the third end of our feature game. This one's going on the rings. And maybe through. Yeah, a little toasty on that one. Wesco top four here. Yep. The idea being here, you go top four. If by chance your opposing team misses, you guard, and now you're in business to steal.
Yeah, this is one.
Sounds simple, right?
Right. Well, this is one sometimes where I wondered, from being a new skip, you say, where should I put this stone?
Top four, without hammer. Top four, top eight, right in the center. Hope the other team misses, then you can throw a center guard, and you got a good chance of stealing if they can't run it back. You can make a perfect guard, of course. Good shot here, exactly where he wanted it. A little deeper. It's going to cover the button, I think. Top button.
It looks like he's debating whether to just hit it and roll over.
Yep. Yeah, if you're Dan, you don't want to nose hit this. You want to roll to the way out, bite her way out on the edge someplace, ideally. Harder to hit out there, you know.
And a lot of teams will leave them alone when they're way out there.
True. Looks like it's coming just off nose. Gonna roll away a little. Left it right on the 4-foot circle. Nice shot there from Louise. So now it's Karen Bradley's turn to carry the torch in this end where we're hitting and hitting. Drawing and hitting, drawing and hitting. Trying a little directional sweeping to push it in there. And she's got it, I think. Yeah, she's got it.
Going to catch a corner.
Yeah, and go and roll away. So mission accomplished there from Karen. Also had a great weekend of curling.
Again, over on sheet 1, commanding lead. Utica 1 over Utica 2, 6-0.
Yeah, that's looking like a short afternoon for those folks at this point. Now Louise will attempt to get one on the rings, way out on the left side looking down here. Got a lot of curling to do. Toasty. Toasty, toasty.
Right through.
Yep. Not exactly what they had in mind. Wes will try and draw to the 4-foot circle here. Down to skip rocks here in the third end.
You notice also with an empty house, it's harder to call different strategies. There's nothing there. There's nothing for us to point out.
Exactly. Kind of one of those do ends, you know. It's just the nature of the game. You know, this kind of an end is certainly not exciting, but it's a little nerve-wracking for the players because everybody's got to make their shots, you know. Looking to draw, definitely wants this on the rings. Put a little pressure on Dan to make his shot. Weight looks pretty good.
It looks like it sped up when he let that go. It looked really gentle.
It certainly did. I agree. I don't know what that was, but he's going to the back of the rings here. And
it did not look that heavy when he let go of it.
Yep. Dan's going to play a little hardball here. He just tapped like he's going to freeze down to it, as opposed to continuing to play for a blank end, which is, if he can make a perfect freeze here, Wes can come and freeze on him, but it definitely opens the door for scoring a deuce.
Now when you're throwing this, I mean, a freeze is a tough shot.
Yes. In front of it's okay too.
All because it's so far back.
Yeah. You know, as long as you land the shot somewhere in front of it on the rings out counting it, it makes Wes's possibility of jamming it, if he goes to take it out, a possibility.
Sometimes they get into what's that called the pro side.
Correct.
Where do you want to miss to?
Yeah, you want to miss. If you're not trying to come to, he's actually changed his mind by narrowing up the ice. He's hitting and rolling out with that ice. He's only giving himself about a foot of ice down there. Yeah, the pro side. Interesting conversation about the pro side, meaning what's the best miss? What's the best place for the miss shot? And it can be a number of things.
Well, it's very important to know that sometimes before you shoot.
For
Because,
sure.
You don't want to be short and
Yep.
guard something, guard the other team's stone.
Really genuinely comes into play when a team is behind by multiple rocks.
Looks like it's going to overcurl.
It does look like it's going to overcurl for him. Unfortunately, Danny missed that one.
Yep.
So now, Tim, what do you do in a steal situation here? Do you split the house and make him draw for one and get the hammer back? Or do you sit right in front of it?
I think I want to sit right in front of it, right in the middle.
Okay.
Make his draw very difficult.
Yep. What you want to do with this rock is not have it deep enough to where he can nose hit it and get his one. You want to force him to draw here. Or run the double, that's difficult if the rock's got 10 feet in between them.
Really, so if you want to leave it where he can hit and not outscore, he's got to put it way up on the 12.
A little discussion with his front end exactly where he'd like this to go.
The problem if he puts up on a 12, it leaves a good draw path behind. So would you rather have it down in the 8? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, that rock is all the way in the back of the park. I think if I'm going to be in front of it, I want it to be where if he nose hits it, he can't be shot.
So that's basically up in the top 12.
Yep. Yep, and that's where they're pointing. They want to force Dan to draw here. Draw against 2. 4 is 1.
But then you could also potentially draw down to the back one and outcount your top one.
Very
So
true.
They're very precise where that top stone's got to go.
Yep.
It's like you can't cover both possibilities.
A lot of weight here from Wes. A lot of weight.
It's not really moving yet either.
Nope.
Normally starts right now at the hog line.
It's past the tee line.
Maybe coming down to himself.
Yep.
That's exactly what Dan wanted to do earlier.
Exactly. So it's against 2 now. He's got all the 8-foot circle to draw to. He's got backer there. So he'll just draw and couldn't get 4. Wes, good attempt and to force him to 1. You could get real cute and try to make the double here and lose your shooter and blank the end.
Yeah, that would be very cute. Seems like a simple
He hits half a rock. They're all going bye-bye, but including the shooter. But he's drawing for his 1.
Seems like a simple shot. You just saw it.
Yep.
All you got to do is draw. But sometimes it's not that simple.
Yeah, it's the safer of the options.
But you know yourself when you're doing this, sometimes you come up a little short for some reason.
Or if you go to throw a weight for the or you go to throw the weight for the double and you gun it and miss everything and give the guy 2. Been there and done that. Sure, I'll do it again. Dan still hammer rock of the 3rd end. Dan Stillman looking to take his 1 here.
Boy,
Take his
again,
1 and run.
It looks light when you let go of it, but it is gliding.
They're working it. They're working it. Oh my goodness. He's got it. He's all over it.
Oh,
Nice clutch draw there.
Some, yeah. He got his team.
They got a little panicky.
Yeah.
Very nice shot there from Dan to get his 1.
He scared the vice into coming out of the house.
Yes, he did. Very nice throw. Against 2. To get his 1 there in the 3rd end to take a 3-2 lead over Manotick Curling Club. Wes has got to be feeling good about that he did hold. You know, was playing like a blank end. All of a sudden with 1 miss, now it's a force of 1. No hammer here. And Dan's throwing a corner guard. Don't know.
It looks like it's going to come right through the house.
It's just about hack weight, I think, Tim.
And they're looking at that saying, what happened to that?
Yep.
It's guard in the back.
Might be better than a corner guard.
Yeah. So updating some scores for the people that are watching. Sheet 1 again, Utica 1, 6-0 against Utica 2. Sheet 2, Utica 3 is now scoring 3-2 over New York and Company. Sheet 4, they blanked the third end, so Bucks County and Philadelphia are still tied 1-1. Sheet 5, Utica 7, or the Utica Seniors are up 4-2 over Schenectady. 3, and sheet 6, Burlington 4-1 over Utica. Utica 5.
Players struggling with weight here a little bit coming back towards the glass. That was a corner guard attempt that didn't quite work out. Dan's still opting to throw a corner guard here. So this will be
Still looks like it's coming in too.
Fourth corner guards without hammer.
Is that one of your question marks there?
Yes, it is. Why you're throwing corner guards without hammer? You're playing for, you're doing Manitic a little bit of a service by putting up a corner for them, are you not?
You wonder sometime when you're watching that, and we've all done
He called for it.
Did you, sometimes do you forget who has hammer?
Maybe.
You know, sometimes
maybe
when you're
so.
up there,
It's certainly not the greatest of strategies. You know, not the question. Dan's been playing a long time, and if this rock gets by, it also looks a little toasty, but that's checking up.
Get behind the red one.
well, be in the back of the house, you can come down to it. So again, what is Dan going to do here?
Well, because he set that corner up for him, he almost has to freeze.
That's what he's looking at. He keeps looking at it.
Takes it out of play if he freezes to it. Yep, and he's got to do it.
Sometimes you find out when you're playing a game, you find out you're playing a hammer game when you don't have hammer because of the way the stones ended up by accident. When you start out that way, you wonder why.
Exactly. Maybe he's master at screwing around with somebody's head. He could just be screwing around with Wes's head, too.
He's doing it with us, anyway. Got up here doing the...
This is going right by, unfortunately.
Yep.
Now, Wes will put a rock right in between this yellow one and blue one. Thank you, Will. Thank you very much.
Again, you get
I'm
different...
going to explain to you in a minute why putting up that yellow corner guard was not a good idea.
Lights tight, where is it?
Got a ton of weight. Ton of weight. I mean, almost enough to take this one out in the back. No. Same turkey.
Yeah, that's what Dan wanted to do.
You outcount them both if you freeze to it, right? Right there. Don't want to guard them.
Now this is where we get to the pro side.
Absolutely.
Pro side. Where do you want this stone to go?
Yeah,
If it's
perfect
not-
analogy. If you're heavy and you chip one of them off, it's fine, but you don't want to guard them.
If you're heavy and go through, you're still better off, maybe.
Correct.
Starting to move.
It's toasty. He flashed it. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's going bye-bye. So things starting to get a little sticky here for Border. A couple of missed freeze attempts.
Just going to keep trying to pump them in there.
Sure.
Leave the whole other half of the house open.
Top 8, right in between the yellow and the blue one, would be a good place for this one.
So that will be the question for Dan. Why the corner guard?
Oh yeah, should have come back to haunt him.
For the after game interview.
Indeed. Perfect spot for that rock. Perfect spot. So now the freeze is over, unless he comes the other way. He could come outside at it or draw behind it.
Looks like he's going to take it out.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it.
Boom, boom, boom. Could get a couple rocks here if he hits them right.
At this point, this might be the time to just move stuff around.
Yes.
Boy, that's coming right down, not moving either.
Nope.
Nope.
I don't think she's got any of this.
No,
Going to chip it?
Going to chip it. Okay, well, it accomplished something.
Yep. Wes will put that back. He'd like to get a little bit more underneath that yellow guard, if he can. Hey, Gary, thanks a lot. We're getting kudos from Gary White.
Actually, that stone that they put in there did the job. It gave Dan something to hit, but didn't hurt him.
True. Wes will be content to play the rest of the end on this side behind that guard at this point.
Yeah, if you can keep putting them up there.
Yeah, and if you put it in the right spot, it's almost impossible for Dan to freeze to something.
Or if he does hit it, he's going to roll out to the open.
Right.
Not having hammer.
Yep.
Selects a good line right here. Starting to move. Oh, it's too light. No, little tick.
It stayed guarded up, however. So now Dan can draw around. There's still plenty of room to draw around here. And freeze is still available to him.
When he's calling his sweep calls with the hard call, sounds like an old episode of Rawhide.
Crucial shot here in pivotal fourth end.
A nice draw will take those two blue right out of play.
Yes, it will. Yeah, this is crucial. You got to get this on the rings.
Line looks good.
Perfect.
Line looks good. Needs a little more weight, though.
I don't know. The weight's perfect.
Oh,
It's got a curl. Finish it up. Finish it up. It's a great shot there. Great shot. That was a pressured shot there from Louise. Wes has got to peel his guard out of there or run it back. Great throw.
Because there is a little bit exposed, but if he hits it, you jam on his blue.
Now we're bringing another little idiosyncrasy into the game. Those blue rocks are behind the tee line, right? And that's, if they were in front of the tee line.
Be a whole different.
Absolutely, would have been a different end, right?
But again, sometimes when you get started there behind the tee line, you almost got to keep playing the behind the tee. You know you're not supposed to be back there, but you got to keep doing it.
Got to deal the hand you've been dealt. Makes skipping fun, don't it?
Right? Is that what they call it?
Like sometimes like getting your fingernails pulled off.
Yeah.
Got to have the right disposition to be a good skip. Certainly helps.
If he runs this back into the yellow.
It's all over it.
No,
Nope, over the top.
Nope.
Over the top. And big old guard here. I don't think you want to get that close to it. I think I'd like this rock off the rings. Hard to be 1-2 unless you tap it right back to a freeze.
Well,
I want to be off the rings here if I'm Dan.
Actually, right up there next to the blue-yellow.
Yep. Yep. Make Wes run it back.
Maybe that's where you want to try and put it. And again, if you're a little deep, you got it.
Closer you get to it, the easier you're going to make the double attempt for Wes. He's got some rocks back here he can jam on, unfortunately. But I'd say if you're heavy and you tap that yellow rock right back to a freeze and sit 1-2, be a really good scenario for Dan at this point after getting in a little trouble here. Let me know when it's getting time for our favorite beverage, Tim.
Okay.
We're getting there. I always wait till about half the game before I consider.
It is in the spirit of curling, of course.
Indeed. You keep your motorcycle at home, or do you tender it somewhere?
No, keep it home.
Keep it home.
It goes right in the raised ranch, goes right in the cellar and heated.
Oh, nice.
Environment.
That was my only contention about keeping my bike in my garage. It's ice cold.
No, mine's heated, so
That's sweet.
keeps the condensation down and all that.
Oh boy, I think he's going to open it up. He's going to open it up. Oh no, he opened it up.
No.
Oh no.
They would have been better off coming off it and just letting it
Hit more of it.
freeze against
Yeah,
it.
or hit more of it and flop over. Yep. Oh boy. Not a lot of thought process here for Wes. The only thing he doesn't want to do is hit it slightly off nose and run it into the blues. He could double himself off here if he hits it wrong. Got to get to the nose or across the face and flop in between the blues. So what I'm thinking would be ideal for him would be to come down and hit this rock just off nose here and roll his shooter right in between these and sit 3. That would be the ideal scenario. There's what it looks like from his vantage point throwing the rock. He'd like to come down here, hit it just on the inside of this rock, and direct the shooter right in between there, and he's going to be in business if he does that. He could roll the other way behind the yellow one too, but unfortunately that's going to run.
That'll create a jam.
That'll create a jam, right? Yep.
It's interesting sitting up here doing a little broadcast. I almost sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Well, you do know what you're talking about.
What's this game called again?
You've certainly played long enough and skipped enough to know that skipping is a beautiful game when you see good rocks coming at you. It's a very difficult game when you don't see the, if you're calling and somebody's throwing 2 feet wide, or it makes the game less fun. But to see good rocks coming at you, it's a pleasure to skip when you see good rocks coming at you. Boy, is he tight. He's on the blue guard.
Yes, he is.
He's on the blue guard, so it's savior for Dan here. Now Dan's got a guard. So Dan needing a guard for his life here. Doesn't want to give up 3. I wouldn't want to give Wes this shot again.
And Louise is actually suggesting a draw.
I mean, that's okay. The shot that I talked about earlier with the draw, if you tap that yellow rock back in front of those blue ones and out count it and flop over and sit 1-2, it's great.
Right.
Then Wes is playing for 1.
That would be a beautiful precision shot.
Yeah.
Just a little
I'm okay with that. What you don't want to do is nose it straight back and give Wes a chance at a doubled for 3.
It's, again, one of those shots where you're looking at the 4 different outcomes. What could go good and what could go bad.
Yep.
And sometimes you got to make that decision right on the fly as the stone's coming down.
You betcha. The old plan B and maybe C.
And the weight call from the front end is so important.
You think?
It's like, oh, you could have told me it was coming in heavy.
Yep. I always tell, especially if I'm playing with people that are of lesser experience, to take a chance on weight. You've played with me long enough to know my delivery and stuff. Take a chance. Let me know if you think it's very light, like in front of the park if I'm trying to draw, or it's back of the house. Then you can finagle.
On some of these 3, it's very important to know if it's really heavy. If it's really light, then you're going to be sweeping. And
especially if there's rocks in the park that you can take out of it, you know what I mean?
Or not take out.
Or not take out. I think he's got a great shot here. Got to get it away from that yellow rock. Got to get it away from that yellow rock if you can.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy is right. Well, it's not a gimme double because he still could hit the shot rock out if he directs the yellow rock and direct it into the blue one and still not be shot out of it. So
He's looking at
1 and 2. Dan is sitting 1 and 2.
Right, he hits that one. He could jam on the back blue.
He's got to hit it thin enough where he spins the yellow rock right through the shooter, the hitting stone. So we'll give you a little look here. And no, we won't give you a little look. They're both in the way. But in a second, we'll give you an idea of what he's calling here. Go back to the dually. So what he'd like to do is hit this rock off nose. Right here. Boom. Get rid of that one and spin this rock that he's striking off through without it jamming on the blue ones. And that's tough. There's not a lot of room there once he makes contact with the shot on the button. Very precise shot here.
And he could nose it, and then it still leaves Dan sitting 1.
Correct. Hammerstone here in the 4th end.
If he hits on the inside, he could jam and then roll out.
Oh, yeah, he could. He doesn't hit this right, he could leave Dan sitting 2. If it crosses the face, he'll be bringing some weight here. Hammerstone 4th end.
Oh, a little narrow. No, they're yelling at each other. You got it?
Missed it.
One was yelling hard, the other one I think was yelling up. I can't tell.
He had to hit it a little bit. He had to hit it a little bit more off the nose on the outside, like we had diagrammed, and it came up a little bit too much on him, and he left Dan sitting 1. So that's a steal of 1 for Border to take a 4-2 lead after 4 ends. Wes is a little frustrated on that one.
I think there was some hesitation on the sweeping there. It almost looked like the Vice was calling him up there for a minute.
And I think that what Karen was anticipating is that he threw a bomb that was as much weight as I've seen him throw all weekend. That was really up weight, and I didn't think she anticipated the curl with that much weight.
Right.
Is what I guessed. Wes felt differently about it, but here we go on to end number 5, 4-2 Border after 4.
Score update on sheet 1. Utica 1 over Utica 2. 6-1 now. Sheet 2. Utica 3. 4-2. It's hard to tell people in front of the scoreboard, so we'll skip that sheet for a moment. 4-2. Sheet 4, Bucks County, Philadelphia. After 5, tied at 3 apiece. Sheet 5, Utica 7, or the Utica Seniors, 5-1 over Schenectady 3. Like the Border team's going to try a draw behind. tick their stone in. Possibly be maybe being split. Hard to tell if the one on the right is biting or not. Must be biting the top because they are going to take it out. Border just came in, tried to draw behind their one yellow Dave, and ended up splitting.
Okay. Thought it was about refreshment time, so I went and ordered us some refreshments, Tim.
Okay. He's going to hit and roll out. And they're shaking hands on sheet one. Utica 1 took a big end in the 5th. So it's Utica 1 over Utica 2. And that game's over.
That would be our E-event final.
Job even cleaning up the scoreboard, bringing the sides back in.
Kudos for that.
That's right. Now if they come up and post it on the draw board, we won't even have to get up. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Dave.
Thanks, brother. Very much.
Yes. Thank you. Yep.
Here's to you, Mo. Pleasure.
Here's the sound of curling.
Ooh, wow. Yum. Have you tried the Saranac House Lager? H-A-U-S
Yes.
Lager? Very good, too.
Yes, it is. Like the Saranac Irish pack and the German pack.
Mm-hmm. There's little struggles here right now for Manatic. I haven't seen them struggle this weekend. Right now, into the 5th end, they have 2 up on the board and not quite executing the way they were hoping to.
Dan calling a draw behind.
Big weight here again. Looks like it's through the house again. Cheery guy, Paul Bosco. Most of us get the long puss on our face when we miss a shot, but big smile from Paul.
I've never seen that from you, Dave.
No. Weight's better here for Ken Robichaux. Going to go right to the button, I believe.
Right undercover.
Yep, nice shot.
So now what do you do here, Dave?
Freeze right down to it.
Freeze right down to it.
Yep. Up 2. If you can freeze right down, get right on top of this rock and freeze, you're almost guaranteed to hold Manatic to 1. Barring accident or injury. Or you get your hammer back, up 1, and move on. That's the ideal scenario for this.
Or steal it.
Well, if you can tap it back 6 inches, you might steal the end. But if you don't, certainly in front of it is okay.
So again, what's the pro side on this one?
Short. and block. Cut the rings down. They're beating it up. I don't think they're going to get it there, but it's in a good spot nonetheless. Great spot, actually. Perfect spot. It's danger to run it back because you're going to risk your own shot back there.
Looks like he's putting his broom down to
Sure.
freeze right to that one.
Yep. And if you can make a perfect corner freeze and Dan doesn't cover it up, then you can run it off with the strike of the corner freeze.
All right, this again is trying to set up the shot for the next shot.
That's right. Very good.
I don't know if that,
Damn good.
Did that even make sense?
Sure did.
When they say think about 2 shots ahead, this is what you're kind of doing.
It starts to come after a while too. You know, takes a while to get that incorporated into your game as a skip.
Where can I put this stone which will help me on my next shot?
Yep, and hinder your opponent if it's at all possible.
It's starting to bend nicely. A little heavy though. Might tap it.
Yeah, it's going to move it.
Oh. Creating an interesting, Dan's looking at it. How can I hit this yellow and tap the blue?
It's a thin double there. Kind of a slash double.
But he's just going to come same shot he just did, right
Yep.
down to it.
I like this. This is a good call here.
Again, I can see people looking at the other side saying, I want to hit that yellow and the blue, which isn't really a good shot, but it almost looks like it's there to the inexperienced.
Yeah, it's a tight port with the kind of weight. You're not going to want to throw a big weight. You got to just miss the yellow guard on the outside to make that happen and tap it over.
That'd be one of those desperation shots if it's the only shot left in the end.
This has got a lot of weight here.
No, he's going to try the
He's trying for a
off the
tick.
blue. Yep.
I think he missed it. Oh, that's unfortunate. Would have been sweet if it got through. If it ticked that blue rock, it would have got them both. Now with that miss, the door is open for Manitic again here. And he's got to throw that shot. I think if you can get buried on the 4-foot here in front of your blue one, you're in business.
All right, so again, where do you want it? Do you want it down to your blue?
I want it just, yeah, I don't want it down to it, just to outcount the, I want to just outcount the yellow one.
See, now he's signaling he doesn't necessarily want it. He wants it up in the 8. So at this point, he's looking.
Setup shot.
Yeah. Again, it's the instinct is to always put them in, and sometimes it's not.
I'm not sure that this isn't a perfect spot for that rock.
Yeah, he was calling it further up in the 8.
Yep.
Of course, if you're calling,
Go ahead, Tim.
if you're calling it further up in the 8 and you're a little heavy, then it'll be down where you want it.
Correct. And if you leave it up where you can, like, this rock is not coming over right on it, the double's going to be there. And they're sweeping it through because the double, if he left it, you know, exposed there, there's a possibility of a double. So now Dan's going to get a chance to throw his freeze here, right there.
Again, what we were just talking about before, I get an expression. I was talking with one of the other less experienced skips like myself, and I told him he's an absolute caller. He expects it to be absolutely where he wants it. And I said, you can't do that because it's rarely where you want it.
Fact. Now you can be, if the line is good here, you can be ever so slightly heavy and tap this blue rock off of the button and sit 1 and 2 would be great, right?
Yeah.
What would be wrong with that?
Danger of tapping it too far, though.
The blue one?
Oh, for
The blue one for Dan here right
Dan,
now.
yes, absolutely.
Right here. So if he comes down with like a heavy draw and comes right in here, whoops, I'll try that again.
That would be a interesting ice if it did
Just
that.
boom, and just push this blue rock back to here and sit right there. I don't see anything wrong with that at all.
So I'm looking right down the center. It does look like with some curl you could possibly tap that blue back. But I'm wondering if they're going for the in off again.
He doesn't have to move it far either. I mean, it'd be great to sit 1-2. If he moves it 6 inches, I think he's going to be in great shape.
Can't hurt it, guys. Hard.
And the beauty of not moving this blue rock too far is that if Wes tries to come through the port and the blue rock is behind his yellow rock here, like if he only moves it to here, is that he can take himself out. So a lot of good scenarios possible here for Dan if he can find his draw weight here on this shot.
Couldn't really tell if they're talking about the draw or trying to hit in off the blue.
Mm-hmm.
So the minute he lets go of it, we'll see what the weight he throws.
Sure.
It'll give us an idea what he's trying, maybe. Or again, is this where you go for the draw, and if you're heavy and wide, you go for the tick?
Yep.
Let's draw weight.
Sure is.
Boy, he has not started bending yet.
Don't know. Just going to chip it off of there.
Not enough.
Not enough. Oh, God, had to come over. Perfect weight for the shot.
Actually,
had to come over just a little bit more.
Actually gives himself a yellow-blue raise through that port.
It does. It does at that.
And they're looking at that to cover that up.
And what I explained earlier, that if he moved that blue rock behind the yellow one, it gives some shelter to that yellow rock that's now second rock. So this blue rock is actually going to catch. If Dan can come through, ideally Wes wants to put one right there.
Well, basically back where he just had one.
Yep.
Buried in the button.
Yep. And sit 1-2.
So it makes this a simple game. You just put the stone where you
just carry it down there and just set it down where you want it.
I don't know why people say it's so hard. Trying to decide what stone he wants to throw. Some people are they keep track of the numbers.
True. The one that curls a little bit more, you might want to throw that one first, right?
Or depending on what your shot is.
If you're throwing a straighter, more of a hit, you might want the one that runs straighter. Looking to draw here. Looking for draw weight.
Boy, it looks a little light.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Good call, Tim. Good call.
If I could only call
So
him
he
that
basically
way,
just blocked the rings on himself there. Now Dan's still got that shot to come around and be shot rock on the pot. Or he can run this through the hole like you had said and sit 1-2, I think, if he knows hits that. But he's drawing all day. You want to cut the rings down now. Sitting one, you want to steal. You could steal the end with a good shot here, right?
Right, and you want
doubles there too if he's heavy.
I think
he's looking at that raise.
Yeah, so that's the tempting. It's a port. You've got to come through.
Oh boy!
But the only problem is you want to almost block the draw path at this time too.
Yeah. Yeah. Wes can't go after that yellow rock.
No.
That's second. He can't. There's just no way he can go after that rock. If Dan wants to, that's fine. But Wes can't go after that because he takes the risk of taking his own shot out there.
So this is that. This is the one where you're going to say, I can draw in, maybe take one, or concede them one.
Correct. Cut the rings down. If you're short,
block his
pro side miss
right.
would be short here, right?
Block
that path, cut the rings down.
Draw path.
Right.
So again, this is sometimes the instinct is to go for the point when you could hurt yourself.
Right.
Risk reward.
If he's a little heavy and he leaves it out, he could just tick off of that yellow rock and wind up on the button too.
Pro side short, does not want to be deep.
Right. So there's a possibility of this. Boop. Boop. Right there.
Does not want to draw deep, though. Leave him a back or
Nope.
leave him a pocket.
Ideally, if he leaves the rock here, puts his yellow rock right here, is not bad.
It's got to be on the button or there,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
So we've given him his two choices. All he has to do is throw it.
That's it. His last rock of the fifth end, up 2, is border over Manotick. Manotick with a hammer here.
With us up here giving him all the scenarios, how can he miss?
He can't.
Tough fought race here on sheet 4. Philly against Bucks County. Philadelphia is up 4-3 over Bucks County. Again, they all know each other. It's a little competitive match there.
Seventh end.
It was after 6. They're in the 7th end now.
He's coming with some weight here. He's erasing this stone. He wants to get on the inside of this rock.
Oh,
Nope.
it's outside.
Not happening.
Oh, he might nose it. He's going to nose it.
Yeah.
So he did not really block the draw.
Nope. So it's a wide open draw for 2 here to the button. Plenty of room. Not a lot of thought will go into this one. Unless he's heavy and he ticks off of the yellow one. This is either get your deuce or get 1.
Over on sheet 6, Burlington after 5, 6-2 over Utica 5. So Burlington with their back-to-back games is still doing well. Probably a little tired.
Yeah, Kim was pointing out the other night to me. She said, "Oh my God, if we get to the final, it'll be 7 games." Oh boy.
And they say this is fun.
Indeed. I think with that ice Wes is drawing here, he's got to get a piece of the full 4 foot, full in the 4 foot to get his deuce.
Well, you want your 2, but it's always nice to be drawing and knowing you're at least sitting 1.
True.
So it's a little less pressure.
Yeah. I'm sure you'd much rather be tied, but I think you're right about that.
Again, it's sometimes I say that from a newer skip. Do I want 1 instead of 2?
Well, as long as there's not a shot of hurting yourself, you go all you can for
Sure.
go to the wall to try and get your deuce.
Well, that looks a little light.
It's better weight than his first one.
Yeah, okay.
And he's got it. I think he's got it. He's all over the 4 foot. Little tick. Oh no, it slid through. He was heavy on that one,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Guess I was wrong on that one.
Wow. So just a force of 1 there, giving Manotick 3, and after 5 ends, it's 4-3 border over Manotick.
He must have been calling the sweep
Big break
to get for the tick.
That's what he was doing. Yeah.
It's hard to tell the weight because he was right in front of my view.
Yeah. Wow.
Not happy.
Shaking his head on the way back is Wes.
Those are the tweeners. Just wasn't enough to hit the outside. Wasn't enough to come in.
So Dan Stillman getting the hammer back here in the 6th end. Love to get a deuce here if he could to extend the lead to 3.
And on sheet 5, just for the people from Schenectady and Utica 7 are now tied at the end of 5 at 5 apiece.
Looks like we got a final over here on sheet 2.
Utica 3 over New York and Company.
Yep.
And what final is that?
B.
That's the B.
That's the B.
So Utica 3 is who?
Conrad Law, Brenda Citroniti, Phil Citroniti, and Nyoka Law.
No strangers to the winner's circles?
Nope. Over New York and Company. Also curlers from our club, Liz Cato, Justin Cato, Bryn Davis, and Ken Thibodeau. Congratulations to the rink of Conrad Law on the B final.
And that end brought to you by the Adirondack Jeweler from Old Forge, New York, Ken Thibodeau, proprietor. Not sure if he paid his sponsor fee, but we'll give him a plug anyway.
Always fun in that non-for-profit scenario. Don't matter, you know. Man, good shot there. Nice shot from Liz Bosco. Getting rid of that blue rock. Dan would like to keep this as clean as possible. If it winds up being that kind of an end, I'm sure that Wes would consider blanking it as opposed to just taking his one.
Sweeping this one pretty hard.
Yes, they are.
Oh, boy.
Got it over.
Just barely.
Dan going ahead and use this corner guard, right?
He's looking. Do I want it here? Do I want it there? What would you do here, Dave? Would you
I'd probably come around.
bring one behind it?
Not too deep. Just in the 8 foot. But it's certainly fine to throw another corner here, too. This would be a strategy that he didn't use in the previous end.
Right. Well. And this is the danger coming in now.
Yep.
It's going to be a hittable stone.
I'd take it way back if I was him.
So in
Harder to hit.
the days of free guard zone, he's going to leave it there.
Yep. Got to get his center guard up here.
You don't realize how important center guards are as a new curler in a lead. You don't realize how important they are until you become a skip. You realize you really need those.
Sometimes right until the third's last rock, if it's a do or die and having to steal your one, especially if the other team's successful peeling it.
Well, so much for the center guard.
Yep, we threw that right out the.
Oh,
And that rolled away.
got a piece of it.
Yeah.
Now Dan's calling one behind.
Yeah. What you don't want here is short and leave a center guard. I'm almost tempted to come around the other way.
Yep. Because if you come around the other way or short, you leave yourself another corner guard.
Absolutely.
Those are things you pick up from other people when they just mention that. You might not ever think about it, especially in newer skips, which Dan is not. And they're going to be short.
Yeah, it looks like it. No leggies. Keep going. Try to get it away from that center line.
See,
Okay.
that would have been a nice corner guard, the same weight coming the other way.
Yep. When the Nationals were here, I think it was 2009, Pete Fenson, who's a world-class skip, I saw him guard a guard. Guard a guard with hammer, guard a corner guard. Like throw one halfway and then another one around it, but not on the rings, so they can't hit it. Because he knows the guys that he's playing with can draw behind those at will.
Right.
Clever. It's the first time I ever saw that done. Well, you got your guard up. You figure, oh, we're guarded here. No, another one. quite. Just ice might be stiffening up just a little bit on the curlers here.
Yeah, looks like they're going to start that wall again here. Dan's counting for the 5-rock roll.
Yes, he is.
Sometimes you're back there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there 5?
That's the beauty of it. Most curlers can count to at least 8. It's going to hit it on the noggin, I think. You didn't really want to do that.
It
Rolled over. Got a little roll out of it. I think Wes has got a stuff one here. Right there.
Of course, not for lack of trying.
Mm-hmm.
6 on, down 1. Not the worst case scenario.
Manitic's setting up a steel end here.
That doesn't, well, I was going to say it doesn't look like it's going to curl. Maybe it will. No.
Just still on that side of center line.
It's going to be wide open.
Yep, it is going to be wide open.
Giving Dan an opportunity to hit and roll behind.
Yep, absolutely true. He'd love to hit and roll under the guards now.
Nice. Now what
Easy
do you
weight.
throw? Do you throw easy weight?
I think
Normal?
so. Just I don't know about normal. I think I would just try to throw control weight, board to control, just something that you can play with the brooms a little bit.
Enough if you hit, you don't roll too far if you
Right.
hit it wrong.
Yep. Just control kind of weight. Left it out a little. Here it comes.
And it's still going to hit on the outside.
Yep. Gonna get it.
Roll the other way, though.
I think it's gonna get it.
Nope, too far.
So back to no rocks on the rings.
What's they say about the hit and roll? What's the most important part of the hit and roll?
The hit.
The hit.
Leaving the door open again for West to get one behind these guards. Force the action. Line's real good. No legs. No legs.
Well, somebody's got to get something in here because again, we're finding out we're just sitting up here with nothing to talk about. How do we call a shot when there aren't any?
Makes curling an easy game to call, doesn't it?
Draw behind. And plan B is draw behind.
Here we go.
And plan C is draw behind.
Yeah, I wish they could hurry up a little bit.
The congested houses are a lot more fun because it gives you more possibilities.
Certainly from our perspective, they are. They give them, we get stuff to talk about. You're right.
Of course, it gives the skips a little agita, but well, that's going to be short too.
Yes, it is. I think the ice is stiffening up a little bit. The people left on the just inside of him there.
Well, what's that first one in?
Yep. Or as we say, the first hog to the trough, if you will. You get one behind the junk here, you're going to be in business.
A little snorting over there from Jerry Stevens. Guess we can't talk about him. He's listening.
No.
Well, it's funny, too. I've been sitting back here not broadcasting, watching the different sheet. You can hear the broadcasters, and you're saying, wait a minute, they're calling the wrong call.
Yeah, you're looking at another
You're looking at sheet 2, and, you know, the broadcasters are saying, that one's coming down nicely.
I don't have enough focus to watch any other sheet other than one. I know some of the guys when we're playing on league nights can watch the other games and stuff. I can't.
I have enough trouble watching my own sheet.
Exactly. So again, the door is still wide open here for someone to hit the house here.
House, that's that big round thing, right?
That big round decal.
If it gets too much boring, we'll just get silly up here.
That's redundant. West Sukarab. Love to get one on the rings behind this pile of granite.
That looks light, too.
I don't know.
Jeez.
Ice definitely stiffened up on the players here, huh? That was pretty close. Still a little light.
I had good line.
Yeah.
Just need a little more weight.
So now can Dan Stillman get one on the rings here? Cat and mouse game continuing here in our featured A event final. Wes shaking his head. The ice definitely, I think the ice slowed down a little bit too. You know,
they're all too experienced to be leaving them short like that.
Right. You know, and it's not like we're in the second or third end here. We're in the sixth end.
When I talk about it, no, that's what I mean. No, the inside the club.
Sheet 5, Schenectady and Utica 7 are tied at 5 apiece on sheet 5. Bucks County 5-4 over Philadelphia on our sheet 4. And over on sheet 6, Utica 5 with 3, Burlington with 6.
I think he's going to like this one. A little heavy, just the same. It's going to go behind the tee line. It is going to stay on the rings, and we got one on the ring. We got a counter here, folks.
Okay.
We got a counter in the sixth end.
Gives them an opportunity to follow it down, though.
Sure.
That goes from, let's just try and get something on the rings to, but not there.
No, right. Yep. Other end of the 8-foot circle would have been certainly better.
It's actually a very important shot right here.
Mm-hmm.
This one's just touching the back 12, right? I can't tell what the...
Just touching the back 12, full in the 8, yep. Just touching the back 12.
Oop. Little broom adjustment from Manatech. Runners on first and second.
Holy cow.
Ooh. Say no. That needs to bend.
Dan get himself into position here to, it's going to be shot rock. Still behind the tee line.
Well, it does set up a jam. If they They
Well,
come down and tap
this
it.
is last rock.
Oh, that's right.
Last rock here. All he's got to do is just come to it and move it a couple inches. Just didn't finish. It was a good shot. Just didn't looking for it. Why didn't it curl? Why couldn't I make that one curl?
And that sometimes you do wonder when you're watching those come down, is that the way he threw it, or is that rock just not curl like the other one?
Move that rock 16 inches up higher, biting the 4-foot, and it looks like a gorgeous shot. Here it gave him something to come to. Dan Stillman looking to sneak out of the end here and get his one and get a 2-point lead back. Manitek sitting 1. Line looks great. Line's great. Super great. This is a great shot. This is a beauty for Dan Stillman. That's how you do it right there.
Didn't even need the blue one there.
No, we did not.
Nice draw.
Beautiful draw.
Draw for 1.
Yep, to get his one. Get that 2-point lead back here with a 7th end approaching.
Over on sheet 5, Schenectady 6 over Utica Seniors with 5. Burlington still ahead on sheet 6, 6-3 over Utica 5. Utica 5 is Israel Acosta, Mellon, Tom Wilkinson, and Kimmy Acosta.
Well, I think we got everything we hoped to be here in our A event final of the Cobb.
Now he's calling a freeze down to that. Or is he calling a draw behind? Originally it looked like he was tapping in front of the stone. What he wanted. He was calling the freeze down.
Exactly what he wanted, and he got it. Center guard here for Dan.
If there's nothing to hide behind, you might as well freeze to something.
Center guard all day here for Dan in front of the blue one. Can't hit it if it's not on the rings. Oh boy, little brave move here.
I missed it. What's he calling?
He's taking the blue rock out. I think I'm throwing a center guard here. Right there.
Oh, okay.
Right there is where you want it. Yeah. Either or, I guess. If you tap it out into the open, it's not the end of the world. Would like to know. He's going to be on the rings either way if he makes contact with the blue one. Oh, no.
It's going to tap
She's
the
taking
yellow.
herself out. Taking herself out.
Oh.
Not exactly.
No.
That's why you got to throw a guard there, I think. But
I don't think that was in the playbook.
no, it was not. West would like to hit this rock and roll away, I believe. Huh. With hammer guarding that rock. Okay. All right. I'm okay with that.
he's calling his right down to the top blue. Would you have gone for a tap back maybe, or what would you have done, Dave?
I think I would have taken the yellow rock out and tried to roll away.
Okay. Roll away or roll in? If you took the yellow out.
He's got Manitic Scott Hammer here. He's taking his own. I'm not sure what he's doing here. Why is he taking his own rock out? I thought he asked about a tap.
I think he's trying to tap it behind cover. He's trying to raise it. Or he's going to draw.
Just a little tick and roll. Perfect shot right there. Yep.
That worked out pretty well. So again, you're in a hammer scenario. You've got all this stuff junking up the front. Do you start clearing? Do you try and work around it? Going to tap that yellow out into the open.
Oh, that's a great outcome. That works. Could think about taking that blue rock out that's in the 8-foot on the nose hit would be a good shot too.
A little wide though. You take your yellow out also. Looks like he's just trying to junk up the middle.
Yeah, he called for a guard.
Taking their raise away.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be right there in the middle of them.
Perfect. It's a good shot.
Hey there. It looks like Bucks County is the winner on sheet 4 over Philly.
A little tight.
No, it's not going to
tight.
It's not going to get to the
tight.
yellow. It's
Nope.
going to tap that blue.
Oh my!
Oh,
Didn't get there. Yellow's still sitting 1 and 2. His border.
there's a little bit of that yellow peeking out. Dan's going to guard it right now. Not quite sure how this ended up this way.
Me either. I'm not so sure that this one is a harder one to get at. I almost think I'd protect the one on the right. It gets more of a hit and roll on the one on the right, but can't take them both away. Definitely on the defense here, even sitting 1 and 2. Trying to get a tick off this blue one, it's not going to get there.
Let's see, it makes you wonder earlier when Manatech did not take some of those out. or clear the front.
Yeah.
Now they're suffering from that.
Yep.
They can't get back to where they need to be.
Going to open it up here, try and lose both of these rocks and the shooter. Just need to hit about a third of a rock and they all go bye-bye. Half a rock, they all go bye-bye.
That's where you need a little weight to do this, I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to work out just fine. Ba-boom. Beautiful shot. Nice throw there from Karen.
Unfortunately, you left that yellow out there where...
It kind of is blocking that one side now, right?
Yeah, blocking that
so
one side
Dan can
there.
guard up the other side now and be in business here.
Right? That's just what he's going to do. No? All for center guard. Trying to take all these promotes away? I'm not sure here.
Okay.
You said he's still got that kind of hit and roll in for
Yeah.
one.
Well, he certainly makes the steal a little bit more difficult if he doesn't cover up this yellow rock, but we'll see what's in store here.
Well,
It got ever so slightly in the way. We're going to take a look at the far house here. And that's what we're looking at down at the other end. It's pretty well cluttered up in the front of the forefoot.
and the yellow on the left, as we're looking at it, is covered by a guard. You can't see it in this particular picture. Yellow, yellow, blue, yellow.
Yellow, yellow, blue, yellow. Yeah, that's there. Boom. There's
something
another rock in front of it, I think, that we're seeing. No, those are those two right there. Top of the park. So that's what he's
going
throwing.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, some weight. Maybe he'll jiggle some stuff around.
Yeah. Sailed it out just a little. They sucked it right. Still going to move some rocks around.
So he put that blue right in there?
He did.
Look at that. How the end changes.
Yeah. So Manitic sitting one. We're down to skip rocks here. That's what it looks like above the far house. A little strategy conference here for Team Border. They are up 2. We are in the 7th end. Manitic sitting 1 with hammer. I think Dan's got to draw one down here and use his own rock for a little. He's got to just sneak through that port here coming this way. Draw right in here like this and quite possibly just bump off of that rock and send one right into here. He'd be in business.
And if
or just a straight draw, too.
Well, if he straight draws or bumps off it, he takes that away from them, too.
Correct, yep. And that's, in fact, what he's looking at. So it's basically down. Just draw weight, boom, boom, or just a straight draw right to here. Works great. Even here is okay, right?
Yep.
Here is okay. If he hits it, he can't. Wes will take the risk of doubling himself out in that scenario.
I guess it depends on whether you want to try and take one or give up one.
Right.
And from this angle directly behind, the draw looks a little bit tighter than the tick. You know, when you're looking at it on the screen, it looks a little bit more open.
Mm-hmm.
But sitting back here from the hack view, does not look like an easy draw without taking off that yellow.
True.
Now, if you're on sheet 4, the way the rocks were really
Little different adventure over there.
They're digging in nicely.
I don't want to jinx the game, but the rocks have ran beautifully here.
Yeah, they have.
Beautifully. So it looks to me like he's trying to draw one right behind, as we diagrammed, to get one right on the button here. Yep, looking to just outcount the blue one. That's touching the button. First skip rock for Dan Stillman in the 7th end of our featured A final here. A great game. Taking a little more ice here.
But this is how the finals are supposed to be. Tight.
Oh, I agree. It's so much more fun calling a game that's close like this, too.
And having stones in the house certainly helps.
And he's coming up. He's actually going to be on the guard. He's going to be on the yellow one. Don't know what that's going to do for anything. Take a look down there at how things changed now.
Well, since blue is already shot, they don't really need that blue. How do they get?
I think it's the same shot for Wes,
Yes.
is to come down here and just hit this rock and slide to the button here. He sits 1-2 guarded, right?
It's actually a full 4 will outcount that.
Yes, it
Looks
will.
like it'll outcount the yellow.
Yeah, take a look at the far look at it. You know, we've got a conglomeration of curlers in front of the
A lot of people.
front of our screen here now. I don't know that he can get full 4 with that blue rock in the way and outcount the yellow one. So that would look like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think he can. It'll still be in the open, and he'll leave
He
it.
keeps looking at the 2 yellows there, and I don't know what that gives you.
Yeah. Oops.
It's like you really, again, you don't want to affect you don't want to touch your blue.
Correct. Yeah, an exposed shot rock, right?
If they don't try the draw tick, you know, Dan's going to go right back to it, depending on what the.
That's a risky shot. He's thinking about promoting this one to here and taking that one out. But boy, if you don't do that, you hit this rock. There's not really a bad feature if he does that, because he could beak it and leave himself in the same scenario that he's in before he throws.
No,
I think he'd like to make better use of that rock than that.
If he hits it, he won't be shot, though.
Correct.
No, they're going for the draw.
Yep. Seemed like the logical thing to do. Draw or the hit?
Oh, Utica 5 took 4 in the 7th end, leaving the score 7-6. Utica 5 over Burlington. Big score of 4 in the 7th for Utica 5. Boy, it's still that broom. Is that broom to hit the blue?
I don't know. I don't know that he's trying to just hit half a rock here and slide to the button. Could be taking that rock out. Looks like he's attempting. We're going to know with the weight that he's throwing. It looks like he's attempting a takeout on the yellow rock that the broom is in front of. It looks narrow ice for the draw, right? It's
Right,
narrow
that's what I mean.
ice.
It's
It's not a draw.
You'd expect the same broom Dan had out there, so it's not a draw.
So looking to hit half a rock and
Unless he's
slide right to the pot and sit 1-2 here.
Again, I don't see if he's trying to hit the blues where that does anything to him, so.
It's a real dangerous shot to try and slash that blue in between the yellow and the blue one and take the yellow rock out. Is very tedious shot. He doesn't need to do that, is the thing. He's throwing a takeout on the yellow, I believe.
Oh, he really is. Oh, yeah.
He's got it. No, nose hit.
Nose hit.
Nose hit. Didn't get there.
He was yelling whoa, and they didn't whoa.
So that's what it looks like now. At the other end.
And they popped that other yellow out there. You can't see this left yellow is guarded by another one up farther outside the house. So Dan looking at the double now.
He is.
Actually,
But where does the blue rock that he's striking go?
No, if he hits blue into blue.
Right, blue.
The
What,
yellow will
this way?
out- No. Even if he just noses it, blue, then the noses blue, it stops.
Boom,
Yellow, stop.
boom, and you stop the rock right
Yellow,
here.
I'll count it.
Yes, it will. That is true.
So that's what we're looking at when Manitek
Good
was looking at
observation.
that.
Yep.
When Manitek was looking at that, we said it wouldn't accomplish anything.
Risky. There's a little risk factor here. He is up 2. There's a risk factor here
Well, you have
because
to-
if he hits it on the outside and runs it in between here, then Manitek's got a chance for a bundle. He's got a guard here, I believe. I think he's got a guard. Well, we'll see what he's going to do. He's looking over his options. There's a bunch of little stuff he can do here. You know, certainly a guard right here wouldn't be the end of the world, right? How does West get his deuce then? It's danger over here for him because there's a yellow stone to run back. Looks like he's throwing a guard. You want to cover up these blue rocks in the center, I believe. Make Wes's attempt at a deuce more difficult here. We'll see what he's got up his sleeve here. He's curled a really great game. And
So I stepped away from him a little bit.
yeah,
What's he doing?
he's moving some rocks around.
So he's trying to blue. Ooh.
Oh no. He's going to slash it right between them. And he made it. Oh my goodness, what a shot. What a shot. The shot that you wanted him to throw. Except he went over the top of it.
Over the top,
He went over the top of it and now he's sitting shot rock. Wow.
Well, no, he
Wow.
was shot rock before, though.
No, blue was shot rock. He moved that blue rock is here now. Wow, great shot there from Dan Stolman to leave himself sitting 1. Wow. Now they're trying to pull a rabbit out of their hat to see how they can score here. Give you a look at the far house again. What a curling game. What a great game.
And again, the ones that you can see on this one, that blue-yellow that appears to be a shot is not, because there's stuff up farther outside the house.
Right.
On the left-hand side.
Dan's done for the end. He's going to take a little stroll down and see what it looks like down there. He could use his own rock to double this out. He could go boom, boom for 2. We're looking at the possibility of moving rocks around here. I'm not sure how that comes into play without leaving this rock around. Manitek desperately trying to figure out how to score here, and more than one.
We have a final on sheet 6. Utica 5 over Burlington.
Very nice.
Still a pretty tight game on shoot 5. Schenectady 3. It's 6-5 over Utica 7.
So it looks like he's going to use the shot that I was talking about for 2. It looks like he's going to come down, hit this rock, use his own, and boom, double him out for 2. I think that's what he's looking at. He was looking at some kind of a thin hit on this one and chip that one out and send that one scatting out off to the side here for 3, maybe 4. If he could lose these 2, he would get 4 out of it. 1, 2. That one goes Bobby. No, it's for 3.
3.
Yeah. So
now
looks like he's decided what he's going to do. I think he's just in thin double.
After he delivers, bring that house right back up so they can watch it. As
See exactly how it goes.
They're coming into the house.
So pivotal spot here. Dan Stolman made a great shot to leave himself sitting 1 buried. Now it looks like Wes is going to try and use his own rock for a thin double for 2. So needs to just hit 3 inches of that rock with the kind of weight he's going to throw and send the yellow rock off of the 4-foot and sit 2. And that is what he's throwing. So this is what
oh, it's over curling.
Oh, he just went over the top of it. Good try there. A little too thin a hit there for Wes.
Curled a little bit too much.
That's going to be a steal of 1 for Border to take a 3-point lead, 6-3 with coming for home in the 8th end. No hammer for Border. Wow. Got to be feeling good about it right now if you're Dan Stolman and company. Almost had to hit that rock a little fatter. Dan opting to throw through with this for a good idea here. Send this rock right to the crib. No need to give anything for Manitic to use.
This is the shot I never missed, except for my first when I first started. I threw a throw through that landed in the house.
Oh boy!
I didn't quite understand the whole concept, and my skip was not happy.
Corner guard attempt here. Center guard not bad. Down 3. And that's unfortunate. That's going to go on the rings here for Cindy Robichaux, and Dan's going to be able to go ahead and take that rock out. You really need a corner guard here desperately for Manitic.
At this point, any cards.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need anything.
Didn't want that on the rings. Nope. Now you're hoping for a miss if you're Manitic. Looks like she's all over it. All over it. He wants to lose the shooter here. Wants the shooter to go bye-bye as well. And he got his wish. Great shot. Liz Bosco. Unless there's an extra end, she is done throwing for the weekend. And a perfect 100% here in the 8th end. With a throw through and a peel with the loss of her shooter.
This is what you were talking about earlier. Guard, 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 guard.
Got to have them. High guard's fine, over and up.
The last 3 shots are the critical ones.
Yep. Can't hit this one yet. That's the 4th rock of the end, so that one has to go.
See Dan looking behind him, counting. 1, 2.
Yep.
It's like counting minnows. 1,
He's
2.
going to throw through here. I'm okay with that. And then no matter where they go, you peel that guard. Unless it's in the open in the house. Successful throw through. Now West needing 3. Almost have to throw another guard on the other side. Coming around a little too early to come around. He's got to throw a corner guard over there. No, he's coming around. Either way, Dan's peeling, right?
Yep. And this is sometimes you wonder about this. Do you want to put one in there just so you have something in?
Yeah, you know.
I mean, they can hit anything anyway.
Correct. And on the next rock, Dan can hit no matter what, so. Just don't want to leave him a double. Is this heavy?
No, it's going to be about T-line. A little bit, though, behind T. Oh, wow.
Way back. Peel. Attaboy.
Again, sometimes the instinct is to get rid of that one in the house.
Yep.
Because it's in the house.
Exactly. Now, if he's successful here, it's going to be exposed in the park. He'll guard it if they both go bye-bye. All over it. Nicely thrown there.
Yep, certainly
and that's the right move, right?
Didn't want to nose it.
Nope. Unless you could get them both.
Yeah.
You know, run back, double. Gonna guard it up. Yipper.
So going back to the different philosophies, should he have brought that second one in like that? Now it's working where he's
no, as far as I'm concerned.
No, you wanted the other corner.
Other corner. Yep.
Okay.
You're still hoping for misses if you're Manitic, but the strategy behind, if you're you got to get your corners up.
Yeah, see, I like this broom, so if you're wide, you take out the back one.
Correct. She definitely sailed it out. No, she's got it. May leave it on the rings, though. I may leave it. Oh, boy. That would be game on. It's a chance, anyway, for Manitic now.
See, that was the tough one. You sweep
Little
it by
biter, little biter in front of this rock on the rings is not bad too. It's got to be touching the rings. It's far enough away, makes it a tough double.
He's going around. He's going to go around the center.
Yep.
Still undecided which way he wants to go. Well,
yeah, it's either or. You either come around the guard or you guard up this one. A little biter there up in the top of the 12-foot in front of this blue rock is okay. Even, well, I don't know if you want to be not sure that you wouldn't want to be touching the rings, but.
Right, because It's far enough back where you can guard it by touching the white greens.
Yeah, just a biter. Nothing more than a biter. I mean, where he's putting his broom, if the rock goes there, it'd be close enough to being a biter where I think I'd wanted a biter. But the pro side miss is short as long as it's covering this one. Not 2 feet from it. Don't leave an easy double.
It looks heavy.
Sure does. Might be through the house. Unless it comes to the backer. Now we're playing bango bango. Well, there's a break for Border. Come this way.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
And hit them both.
Come the other way. Yeah. Come the other way. Go for the one on the inside. Right? Don't you want to come the other way? Go for the one on the inside.
I think we want to come the other way.
Yeah. Gives you a lot more
It's
chance.
just tight. It's real tight.
You're lucky if she gets the outside one.
No, she's got the outside one. Going to lose the shooter, I think. No, it might stay. It's actually nose hit.
They held
Got
that
the
one.
schnozola. Okay.
Okay, that's not the worst case. I missed the final on 5. What happened there?
Don't know.
Another free kill.
Okay, on sheet 5, the final is Schenectady over Utica 7. So Schenectady won over the Utica seniors.
The event final? Pretty sure. Yep.
No.
Bingo bango. Hit it.
Yep.
Little cleanup time here for Dan. Down to skip rocks here. 3-point lead for Border. Manitic with hammer in the 8th end. A event final. Fitting that it's the only game still going on in the shed. I think if you're Dan, ideally you'd like to lose all 3 of these rocks. Just a nose hit, boom. I think it's all 3 of them. Just off nose to the inside of the rock. Gets all 3 of them.
Well, if he loses the 2 blue.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now he's going to get the 1 blue, at least.
Well, West needs them all. Both of his rocks, he needs them all. So it got to freeze down to this one, I think. Or guard and save that one.
Well, he's got to get it in. He's got to put something in the house. He's only got 2. He needs 3. So if you freeze down to that one, leaves the other one exposed.
Correct.
If you guard that one, leaves them both exposed.
True. Got to protect the open rock here, I believe, right? Right there on the 4-foot right in front of it. Hoping for a miss anyhow.
Right, or hit
Right
jam,
there.
or a hit
Right
jam,
there. I'm okay with right there.
Hit jam possibility.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So give them something to hit with a jam possibility.
Sure.
They're going to hit something or try. Kind of an educational opportunity. Really.
I think.
Dave just took a few minutes there to listen to the peanut gallery.
Yeah, there's a lot of little banter going on, and
some interesting banter.
Yeah.
It's funny too, listening to the crowd behind us.
There's a lot of experience back there too.
But all different philosophies.
Right. That's right.
And they're all right.
That's
different opinions.
That's exactly true. That's the beauty of this game. You just hit it right on the noggin.
They had two distinctly different shots they're calling, and they're both right.
You know, regardless of man, I think you're hoping for a miss, right?
Right.
He does have hammer. Looks like he's playing a little tap back on this yellow rock. That's shot rock. It's really coming up on him here. No, he's got it. They're holding it. Little tap back on this. And it didn't go away, so there's a jam possibility there. Dan Stolman has to lose one of these blue rocks, and it's the Cobb trophy for him in his rink. The only thing he doesn't want to do is cross the face of it and jam it into the yellow one and leave Wes an open park for 3. That's the only scenario here that hurts him. And lose his shooter. You just don't want to get the juices flowing too good on this one. Just throw it.
Right.
Just throw it. Normal takeout. Just throw the rock. He's definitely making contact with something in here.
Oh, you're just curling, though.
He's all over it.
And he's going to get the other one.
He's all over the other rock. Congratulations to Dan Stillman, Louise Goodfellow, Paul Bosco, and Liz Bosco. They are the 2019 Cobb champions. Congratulations to the Manotick Rink of West Sukarub, Karen Bradley, Ken Robichaux, and Cindy Robichaux for being runners-up. And I'm calling the game here. They're still looking at a possibility. I don't see 3 out there, but I'm,
trying to figure out how to split that top one in.
I don't see 3 out there, but,
This is the way a final should be, though.
Correct.
There is a shot there. Okay, Jerry? Not right now.
I'm not sure why they're gesturing.
You gotta hit like an 8.
Try the split or shake. Those are only two. I don't know why they
No.
Nope.
But if he
I'm gonna look like a horse's bum if he does make it.
If he makes it, it'd be a heck of a finish.
I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see how he gets his shooter on and outcount and run this one back to the yellow one. I don't see how that. He's got to split him on and outcount the yellow one.
Right. He's got to split them on both to 8 foot. Well, he's got the rock.
He's got to throw it. He's going to give it a shot here.
What's the worst case
This
scenario?
this might be the most spectacular curling shot I've ever seen.
Okay, this-
If he makes it. And we've seen some dandies.
This could be on the newsreel for later.
Absolutely. This will be in the archives if he makes it.
This will be a shot of the game.
Congratulations again to Dan Stillman and Louise Goodfellow and Paul Bosco and Liz Bosco.
And he punches it through just to... All right, it was a
That was a
game.
fabulous
Good
curling game.
Yep.
Thanks to
Good game.
Tim Conboy for
Well, thank
joining
you,
me in
Dave.
the broadcast.
Had a good time.
And I'll take a few moments to thank Conrad and Nyoka for doing a fantastic job as they do with this tournament. All the people who help out, and I'm sure I'm not going to know all of them, but kudos, because these tournaments don't go as smoothly without that kind of participation. Our bar staff and our kitchen staff who make great food for us all weekend and put up with us.
And thank you to all the out-of-town teams that come in. That's what makes this Bonspiel. The
Absolutely.
out-of-town teams.
Well said. So for the Utica Curling Club and Tim Conboy, I'm Dave Craig Nolan. Hope to see you again.